Hello everyone, we're back. And before we move on to NHL, which is our next topic, we got more information from our producer Scott that David Lee might miss a few weeks with an infected elbow from hitting Wilson Chandler and knocking out a couple teeth. So that's big.
That's a major blow. Golden State looks good. I think they're 6-3. That was a good signing getting David Lee. Gives him a post presence like we mentioned with the Heat. But Monte Ellis looks like an MVP candidate. I think Stephen Curry's really maturing, really showing his potential. With David Lee, that's gonna be a major blow. I look for Andrews to step up.
If it's only maybe 2 weeks, then that's one thing. But if it's any more time, then they're in trouble.
Yeah.
All right. Now moving on to NHL. The NHL has a new All-Star Game format. Mitch, would you like to elaborate on that?
Sure. They're Brendan Shanahan took over as one of the presidents for the NHL, and I guess they're changing it from the East to West, make it a little bit more elaborate, get a little bit more media. They're making it so that two captains, I guess the rumors are Teemu Selanne and Nicholas Lidstrom, are going to be picking through all the pool of players. So they go back and forth like a fantasy draft, back and forth, and they're going to pick who they want on their team, back and forth. I think you can have 12 forwards and 8 defensemen and 2 goalies, but they're going to pick back and forth. It's going to be a fantasy draft. I think it's going to add a lot of media, a lot of hype to this. Also, again, one thing I don't like about it, though, is I don't think people are going to know who to root for.
Yeah, I mean, but that's pretty cool.
That is wicked sick.
Because teammates could be facing each other. You know,
yeah, it's gonna be people are gonna be playing with different players. You know, people never play with other.
You could have like Mark Savard shooting on Tim Thomas.
Yeah, it's gonna
that'd be awesome.
It's gonna be ill. People are gonna know each other's weaknesses if they're playing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good thing to try out. I don't know if it's gonna stick because I think people are so used to the East versus West.
I would love to see them one team stack up offense and the other team stack up defense, like having Ovechkin, Crosby, Stamkos all on one side, and having Chara and like Ryan Miller on the other side. It's gonna be huge.
You know what I think they should do for this though? This should be something before the season as just kind of something fun.
Yeah.
And then have the normal All-Star game.
One thing I like about the All-Star game, I love their skills challenges. I like the speed shot. I like how NHL does their All-Star game. And it's always a high-scoring game, too, which I like.
Yeah, I know. You see scores like 13-11.
Because good offense beats good defense in hockey, I think.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. We got a question from Pete from Boston. He asked us... should the Bruins just play Tim Thomas since he's 8-0, or should they go with Rask, who's 0-4?
Thomas. I've been saying it all year long.
He has been saying it.
I love Tim Thomas. He's an amazing goalie. Rask has a future, but Tim Thomas is now. And if they want to win this season, they need to play Thomas.
Okay, I agree with you a little bit, but during the last 3 games, actually Rask has given up fewer goals than Tim Thomas. Tim Thomas is having a little rough patch, you know. Obviously, he wasn't going to keep out that .50 goals against. I think he's up. Yeah, I know. I think he's up towards 1.6, and Rask is playing much better. I think he's just getting a little unlucky now. And Tim Thomas has been had a rough patch here. But I loved how the Bruins played against Penguins. They had a bad game against Montreal, but they were down 4-2. And last year they would just ring it in and wouldn't even try. This year they come back and score 5 unanswered, win 7-4, and right now, I think Tuukka Rask feels a little burn on him, but I think Claude Julien needs to play him a little bit, get his confidence back, and maybe just to rest Tim Thomas a little bit because he has having a lot of mileage on him. I think he's 36, he's getting up there in age. I think Tuukka Rask needs a little bit more starts.
I think Rask should start maybe once out of every 5 games. You know,
I'll give him a little split until somebody can prove that they're the goalie to go.
I think Rask should play more like a catch-a-dozen baseball where... No, maybe once every rotation, sometimes twice.
But the only thing, this guy is going to be a rising superstar, like a top goalie for the next 10 years. They need that potential to go, and they're not going to put him back to Providence. They're going to keep him up there, and
but I mean, if
they need to play him.
If they want to win this season, it's not going to be with Rask. I don't think so.
I agree, but Tim Thomas is a really streaky player. I think his dominance is lowering a little bit.
But the thing with Thomas is he has the experience. And,
that's true.
I mean...
We'll see. It seems like we talk about this every episode.
It does.
We'll see next episode, see what happens.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to MLB. MLB offseason, which is Mitch's favorite sports time.
Yeah. Mine too.
Yeah, I take off work to watch the MLB trade deadline. So.
Well, I've never had to work during the MLB trade deadline, so.
All right. Do you want to take this first, or do you want to take this first?
I'll take it.
You'll take it first? All right, here we go. Where do you think these 7 players are going?
We'll go back.
We'll break it down. Yeah, we'll break it down. All right, ready? Number 1, Cliff Lee.
The big guy. I think this screams Yankees, obviously.
Yep.
Texas is throwing something out there that they might have enough room in tax to maybe make him. I don't know if Lee really.
That's a joke.
Yeah, that's BS. I don't think Lee really cares if he stays in Texas. He's going to go where the money goes, and everybody knows Yankees are gonna give him the most money. He's going to land up with the Yankees. I think another team out there, maybe the Cardinals, because they have the cash.
I don't see that happening.
No. I'm almost 90% sure he's going to the Yankees.
I'm feeling even more than that going to the Yankees. I say maybe 95% chance Yankees, 5% Rangers.
You got to be pumped.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely pumped. But I mean, you look at that rotation too. You know, Lee and CC 1-2. That's going to be unstoppable.
Rising Phil Hughes, yeah.
Phil Hughes. That's going to be an unstoppable starting.
But what I'd hate for the Yankees to do. I mean, obviously that's good for baseball. Them getting Cliff Lee. Yeah, that's great for baseball. Another huge $100 million guy. If they get Cliff Lee, I don't want them to go after and get more offensive players. That's what I just don't get.
But they will.
Yeah, they will.
They will.
They'll be out to Crawford when we'll talk about Werth.
My prediction for this next season is that the Yankees are going to have the most star-studded team that they've ever had.
Pitching-wise, probably.
No,
I think
in general.
All right, we'll see.
All right, number 2, Jason Werth. Start us off, Brian.
There was some rumors that he'd go to the Red Sox, and I can actually see that happening. I think he'd be a very good fit for the Red Sox. They need a player like that. He might fall, to the whole hype of Red Sox Nation.
Yeah.
He might be a victim of that, but overall, I think he'd be a very good fit.
Jason Werth screams J.D. Drew to me. I just don't see that contract living up in the Red Sox. He had a couple nice seasons with the Phillies, but I think all the pressure going on Jason Werth, he's not a superstar caliber guy.
But he is a very good player.
I think Jason Werth is going to fall to whoever. It's going to be the Angels and Red Sox to battle out for Crawford. Whoever doesn't get Crawford, who we'll talk about next, probably, is going to get Jason Werth.
Yeah.
But Jason Werth looks more like a fifth, sixth guy to me. Carl Crawford looks like in the middle. He wants to bat third, but I don't like Werth. I say he winds up to the Angels.
All right.
So I'm guessing you're saying Crawford's going to the Red Sox.
We'll see.
All right, number 3, Crawford. Go ahead, Mitch.
Yeah, I think he goes to the Red Sox. I think if you look at Ellsbury, Pedroia, Crawford, and the 1-2-3, that's one of the most dynamic 1-2-3s I've ever seen. That's speed, hitting. Crawford's showing that he has a lot of power. I think he had 20 home runs. Throw Crawford and Ellsbury on the same base pass with Euclid and possibly Adrian Beltre coming up. That's a very good lineup. You better be scared, even for Cliff Lee pitching that lineup.
And the thing that I think is going to be the best for the Red Sox if they do get him,
yeah,
is the fact that Crawford knows Fenway.
Yeah, he does.
He's played at Fenway, at least like 10 games a season.
Yeah.
And so he's played a lot of games at Fenway, plus the playoffs.
Yeah.
And stuff or whatever.
But I think what you're seeing is the third hole in baseball is kind of going back from power to contact to me. And what I like is the Angels. If the Red Sox do get Werth, then Crawford's going to the Angels. And Crawford works perfectly for the Angels. Torrey Hunters really wants Crawford there. And in Socha's team with that lineup, you see him play Meister or Sturris in the third hole. I look for Crawford in that small ball team. Crawford go all nuts, all on the base path, plays perfect in Socha's game.
I think Crawford would be best on the Red Sox, but I think he's going to the Angels.
Those two teams.
But I'm going to say this. It's probably maybe a 45% chance Angels, 40% chance Red Sox, and there's a slight chance the Yankees might make a stab at him too.
I don't think so.
There is that possibility.
I mean, yeah, they have the money,
but they want Johnny Damon back, so why wouldn't they go after Crawford?
But I think you're going to see Werth and Crawford. One of them's going to have a Red Sox uniform, one of them's going to have an Angels uniform.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said.
Yeah.
Because, they're the two top teams.
Yeah.
All right,
cash
number 4, Adrian Beltre.
I have no idea on this one.
I
don't think he's going to go back to the Red Sox. He doesn't seem like he wants to.
Yeah.
But I don't really know what team he would go to.
There's rumors that Theo Epstein wants to bring back Adrian Beltre and Victor Martinez. I would much rather see them bring back Victor Martinez. I think Victor Martinez is a little bit more valuable. Beltre looks like it was a fluke year for him. I think he had a contract year there, playing in the big stage. I think that got to him. I think you're going to see a little bit more like a Mike Lowell thing, where his thing goes down. I think he's 32. He's getting up there in age. I think
Beltre's the biggest risk.
Yeah, Beltre's
a risk.
Player. But I think the Angels are going to get Beltre too. They're going to get either Werth and Crawford and Beltre. And I think you might see the Red Sox take a stab at Beltre, but I think he's going to go to the Angels. There's not a lot of markets out there who want a third baseman.
All right, number 5, Victor Martinez.
Victor Martinez. I like the Tigers to get him. The Tigers need a catcher. I could see him playing go to NL, go to an NL team that wants to spend some money. But a lot of teams are looking for catchers. And what's good about Victor is he's not that old. He's 30. He can also play first base. But I think the Red Sox will want to bring him back. And I think ultimately he'll end up with Detroit, though.
I'm going to say he stays with the Red Sox.
Really?
I mean, he loved it in Boston. And
he did.
And
I loved him, too.
I don't see why he would leave. They're going to give him the money he wants.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that.
I think they will, because he's so versatile.
They offered him a contract mid-season, 2 years, $18 million. That's a slap in the face. Yeah. I think he's gonna command more. But the Red Sox.
I think they're gonna cave and give it to him. Though.
The Red Sox are looking for John Buck. I think that's a solid option, a bridge option. But
I mean, it's Victor Martinez.
Yeah.
So.
Also look at Saltalamacchi to step up. He might be able to have some potential with the Red Sox.
All right, number 6, Adam Dunn.
Adam Dunn. To me, I think he'd be kind of a waste for any team. Because, yeah, you're paying for his power, but what is his power really going to do? Well, if he's batting 230...
Cubs.
Yeah, I mean, that was what I was actually going to say.
Yeah.
Like, maybe the Cubs, but, I mean, if he's going to bat 230 with 40 homers, that's really not going to help your team that much.
The Cubs are going to be losing Derek Lee. I like what Fox said about the Cubs. They're floating away Kosuke Fukudome for Daisuke Matsuzaka, just a trade of Japanese players. I don't really get that. But, losing Derek Lee adds a lot of pop to Chicago. I think Chicago's going to have some money to spend, and I think that's going to give the fans something to look forward to. Adding in Adam Dunn's going to be good. But also look for Adam Dunn for a team that I think that's what happened.
Spider.
I think that's what happened with the Nationals a couple years ago. Dunn was kind of waited on a little bit. Teams that fall, that don't get Crawford, don't get Werth, are going to end up with Dunn.
All right, and finally, Derek Jeter.
Well, all right.
You want to start off with this one since you're a Yankee fan?
Kansas City?
I don't see Derek Jeter going back to the Yankees.
Yeah.
I mean, he loved New York, and New York loved him, but they're not going to give him the money he wants.
I don't think Yankee fans really like this guy. He's not a very good player. Yeah. But yeah, obviously Derek Jeter's back to the Yankees.
I'm gonna say he's either going to San Fran, Kansas City, or Boston.
All right, next topic. Derek Jeter.
For those of you,
obviously going to the Yankees.
He's gonna own that.
That was a joke.
For those of you who don't understand sarcasm, all right.
I got to throw this out there too. I think the Yankees are gonna get Prince Fielder.
I like that.
I think they're gonna go after Prince Fielder. I think
we're talking about this. Hold on. Next.
All right.
Possible trades. Go.
All right, the Oakland A's, first in the trade market, landing David DeJesus. Who else could be dealt this winter?
Well, I just see Prince Fielder going to the Yankees. I mean, you know, they need that one more bat. You know, Teixeira was slipping a little bit, and they haven't really had a great DH.
Yeah.
You know, put Berkman out in the outfield and then have him DH.
One thing about that is I don't think they move Jesus Montero. They don't have a lot of prospects. Jesus Montero is going to take over for Jorge Posada. Prince Fielder is a free agent at the end of the year. Maybe look for him at the trade deadline next year. I see him more in the next year thing. But look for Adrian Gonzalez. I think this is final year. Red Sox.
I agree with that too.
They've
been working on that thing for 3 years now.
Theo's going to talk to Jed Hoyer and Adrian Gonzalez. Red Sox. Book it. Go.
All right, so that's about all we have for right now. Just before we go on to our short break, Anheuser-Busch, which is the Budweiser sponsors, they're suing the MLB right now. It's breaking news right here. It's about an hour ago. They're suing it because the MLB is trying to opt out of a contract that they agreed with them in April. So,
yeah.
I
wonder what happens with the Cardinals fan.
All right. Well, that's NFL is coming up next, but for now we're just gonna have to go on another short break.
See.